In this lesson, we will identify slant asymptotes. So a slant asymptote occurs when we have a degree of a numerator that is exactly 1 greater than the degree of the denominator. So here I have a degree of 3 and a degree of 2, so we know it will be a slant asymptote instead of a horizontal asymptote. In order to find this equation, and this equation ends up being y equals 2/3 x, in order to find it, we have to divide the numerator by the denominator, which means we have to do some long division. So this is actually the hardest example, so I'm going to save it till the very end of this video. But let's take a look at some of the easier ones. So remember, we're taking the numerator, 3x cubed, and we're dividing it. So inside, I'm going to put 3x cubed, and then I'm just going to put some 0x squared, 0x, plus 0, essentially as placeholders, because remember we keep them all the way down to a degree of 0. On the outside, I've got x squared minus 9. I don't worry too much about putting the zeros in on the left. So now I'm looking at x squared and 3x cubed, and I'm saying, what do I have to multiply? So essentially I'm saying, what times x squared equals 3x cubed? Is essentially the question that I'm asking. So I know I'm going to have to take it times 3, and I'm also going to have to take it times x to get the degree correct. So 3x, and notice what I'm going to do is I'm just going to line it up directly on top of that 0. So 3x times x squared is 3x cubed, and then 3x times minus 9 is minus 27x. And so now what happens is I have negative 27x, and once I get my value down here that it is less than this degree, so this is a degree of 2, this is a degree of 1, I know that this is just a remainder. So if I were just dividing, I would say this is 3x and then minus 27x over x squared minus 9. That is how I would write that solution. Now in terms of the slant asymptote, my answer is going to be whatever's not the remainder. So my slant asymptote is the equation of y equals 3x. So that's how we do that. Let's try one on your own, very similar to that question. So press pause, try this question, then press play to check your work. Again, I'm going to put my 2x squared plus 0x minus 9 inside, and outside x plus 1, and then I'm saying what times x equals 2x squared, and obviously that is 2x. So 2x times x is 2x squared, 2x times 1 is 2x. So subtracting these, remember I'm subtracting the whole thing, so it's like ching, ching, ching. So that gives me 0 plus negative 2x, that's negative 2x minus 9. Now I'm doing it again because notice here, these are the same degree, so I can't stop yet. So x times what would be minus 2x? Well, obviously I would have to take it times minus 2. So minus 2 times x is minus 2x, minus 2 times 1 is minus 2. I'm subtracting all of that, which means I'm going to add the opposite, and I end up with negative 7. So now, again, my remainder is negative 7 over x plus 1, but this is the part I care about. So the slant asymptote is y equals 2x minus 2. Now let's look back at this one. This one's going to be a little bit ugly because we're going to have to deal with some fractions. So again, let's take a look together. I've got 2x cubed plus 0x squared plus 0x plus 5. And out here I've got 3x squared plus 1. And the reason, again, that this one is trickier is because I have to say 3x squared times what equals 2x cubed. And so I know that I'm going to end up with a fraction. So the easiest way to do that is to think, okay, I have to take something times 3, which means 3 is going to have to be my denominator. So if I took it times 1/3, that would give me 1x squared. So obviously I want 2x squared, or 2x cubed. So I'm going to take it times 2/3, and then again from x squared to x cubed I'm going to have another x, and again notice I've lined it up. So 2/3 x times 3x squared gives me 2x cubed. And then 2/3 x times 1 is 2/3 x. And again, I'm going to subtract. So I end up with negative 2/3 x as a remainder, but lucky for us, that is 1 degree less than that. So it is a remainder, which I don't really care about because this is the part that I care about. So that is how we end up with that slant asymptote at y equals 2/3 x.